All right, so hello to everyone at 11:36 p.m. this Monday, October 11th, 2021, East Coast, New Jersey. I guess I just have to jump into this and explain what this is all about. Possible 7.0 or greater quake might occur in about a week in the Canary Islands region. Now, there's this channel that I recommended a few back, and I'm looking at my screen now, so I don't know where my eyes are, but Unknown Eagle, the official earthquake guy, and he says and plots out that asteroids, solar winds, and various things produce earthquakes. He has several warnings out right now, and the one that's really to pay attention to, it says 7.0 plus high magnitude earthquake warning for La Palma, Spain, 10/18/21, and he names the asteroid that's having a path over there in about a week. So that's that warning. Then he has another warning here, another asteroid, and he says high magnitude earthquake warning 10/17. So that's another one on top of the one I just mentioned. And then the next one says high solar wind energy inbound 10/11/28. That's today, tonight, and tomorrow. High magnitude earthquake warning. And I think he has other ones a day ago also. This is within today and yesterday. I'm reading all his titles. It says Spain, La Palma, high magnitude earthquake warning 10/11 through the 24th. And another asteroid. So if you hold on a second, I'll explain this quickly. So his main warning is for today, is the 11th, into tomorrow, through the night into tomorrow. High magnitude earthquake warning, La Palma. And then, of course, I said he mentions magnitude 7.0 or greater a week from now on the 17th. Now, no one knows if that's going to happen or exactly on that day or not. There was a solar storm that he mentioned too in his warning, high magnitude earthquake warning and watch, and also in general for the whole world at the same time here. So, and then just right now that is hitting here on the earth, that solar wind, which is going to probably spawn off some earthquakes here pretty large. Now, Dutch Sense, in his last video or two ago, or I think his last one, I mentioned, I believe in the previous video, he said that he's expecting like around in the five-ish, he said, in the mid-fives or even higher for the Canary Islands right now, okay? Now, there was also another earthquake in Vanuatu that I had mentioned, I guess it was yesterday, same magnitude as the first one, if you heard me talk about it in earlier videos, with the antipode theory idea where it goes right through the earth, and it's right by the Canary Islands, or right around it, in the vicinity to affect that area of the Canary Islands. Now, I kind of messed up in what I had said as far as the timing of that goes. I had said three days is likely from a major earthquake from the antipode, and in this case I was discussing how the Vanuatu earthquake should travel through the earth to the antipode point, the exact opposite toward the general vicinity of the Canary Islands, and it could cause a large earthquake. Now, I had said 3 days approximately from when an earthquake strikes on the other side of the world and then travels to the antipode. It's 7 days. I haven't, kept track of earthquakes for a long time, and I just sort of went by memory, but Dutch Sense mentioned antipode in this case, again, with the Vanuatu earthquake, and he had mentioned 7 days. So I had said that first earthquake in Vanuatu occurred on Saturday the 2nd, and I had said add about 3 days, and I was saying like the 5th or 6th, but that didn't take place. But actually the correct thing about this is about 7 days, as Dutch Sense said. He's expecting that right now, that energy to be here from the first Vanuatu earthquake. I know it sounds confusing, but it's really not. So again, he expects probably in the 5-ish area or even higher, and he had hinted that it could go as high as the Hawaiian earthquakes yesterday, up to, which was 5.9 to 6.2. So I think he was just sort of hedging himself. He didn't want to really go out on the limb and say that, but he does seem to be hinting toward that maybe upper 5s or even higher to 6 area. And again, we have that energy coming in right now, that influx from the magnetic energy and particles hitting the Earth at this moment. And there's said that there's going to be some northern lights maybe appearing even in the United States in the upper tier region, like even up to up northern states. I don't know. I'm in New Jersey. I doubt I'll see anything, but if I do, I'll report it. And this alone is expected to increase the earthquakes overnight here into tomorrow. So let me get back to the second Vanuatu earthquake that happened yesterday and expand that out for 7 days. Yesterday was the 10th. What does that come up to? Around the 17th. So it's sort of a double whammy according to the way these others plot and figure out and say the energy could be affecting that area, not only, like I said, tonight, in probably a lesser degree than that, but especially 7 days from now, in that the energy from the second earthquake in Vanuatu yesterday will be here in about 7 days. And what I had just said, that other person with that channel, Unknown Eagle, the official earthquake guy, that's the name of his site, and he is plotting out, has seen that this certain asteroid will have a trajectory path over the Canary Islands on the same day. So let me put it this way. If that produces what it could and what it's expected to do on that time, there's two gigantic major energy forces that could be at play 1 week from now in the Canary Islands. Now, if anything does develop overnight or tomorrow or even the next day, like I said, it's likely that it's not going to be something like in the 7 area that this one person had mentioned. That could be possible 7 days from now, but to look for in the mid 5s range or upper higher to even 6 or maybe around that area, 6 area. And I think and believe that the planetary objects that seem to be, I can't use the word near the Earth, but they look very close to it, and I have photos of that, which I might come on. And I said I was going to maybe show some pictures of things I've had, like of the angels. Angels are those objects in the sky or images that have appeared. Seems like signs to me. Maybe I'll do that, I don't know, tonight. I don't know. To show, just show pictures that I have. Like I said, I might show because they're really interesting, and images I've caught, on the camera from footage and live streams. So if this scenario plays out, you don't need much of an imagination to think of what could be developing here from this moment on up till a week from now. And even the other forecasts, I should say, that this person has made throughout this month all the way to the end. There's other asteroids and probably solar storms and winds and CMEs that will also likely or possibly kick off in between this time also. We don't know. So naturally, the idea is, if that something like that happens, what will be the ramifications? What effect might that have on that area, on the western southern tier bank region quadrant of La Palma, and what that might have to do in relation to the possible rapture taking place. We don't know exactly what could happen or what's going to happen or not going to happen, but it's a distinct possibility that these things will, come about. These sort of forecasts I see based on science and past, occurrences that have happened when said things are said ready to take place according to these, ideas that they have and how to determine that. There's also the idea or thought that the main volcano on La Palma might erupt. And don't forget, there's a much larger one to the north, much larger than this current one of the Cumbre Vieja that's currently erupting. And you see how ferocious this is. And Dutch Sense mentioned that this is just a side vent. And he emphasized that amazingly. So the one that's going off is just basically a baby or side vent, although it's a full-blown monster, even though that's all it seems to be. And there was reports a few days ago or yesterday, whenever, that the upper part, the northern part of the whole island raised about 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and the remaining part of the island sunk 10 centimeters or approximately almost 4 inches. So I wasn't going to mention this, or at least not here, whether it's coincidence or not, or if there's some other thing at play as I say this here. But from what I heard, that 10 centimeters is technically or basically the point that a woman is known to be ready to give birth when the dilation reaches that point of 10 centimeters. So I find that kind of hard to believe and strange that that's the exact, the exact amount that they had quoted that this took place of the rising and falling. And that has to do with water breaking. So it's kind of odd. Gets into kind of occultic things, predictions and ideas of meaning to certain numbers and phrases and terms that are thrown out there for consumption. So that's sort of like the birthing of the Antichrist. And that's sort of like, I don't want to really go into this all either, but like I Pet Goat 2 and all. But I'm not going to get into that, so please, I don't want to really be involved in that, really. But it's just a thought and an idea and kind of odd. And I wasn't going to mention this here either, but since, I don't know, the responses have been very sparse in all types of ways here, I'm going to try to cram this in all together here, so if you want to hear it. But the last 2 videos I did, it showed the earthquakes that occurred pre-eruption, before the Cumbre Vieja volcano erupted. And what the amazing coincidence, I don't think it is, and significance of that is, and I hope you caught that. I really do. I think it's a real catch, a real find, because that whole region that everyone's concerned about and all eyes are upon if something should break off is exactly what's been hit or what's been active and rumbling before the earthquake even erupted. And strange, it was so strange, if you go back to the 2 back with the animated one that I was able to put up, you'll see again it started like in a shot, one shot after another in a progression, and I find that hard to believe and really, astounding that could be random. Where it started from, right on the rift that runs through the whole island from the volcano, the main one, and then one after another, like on a path, stepping stones, one after another up to the north, northeast, northwest, and continuing, and no other earthquakes around it or before it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, maybe you know those games at arcades, or if you go to the boardwalk. Well, they used to have them. I don't know if they have them anymore. I haven't been there in years. I don't have a vehicle. But it used to be, anyway, long ago, you shoot out the center. You try to shoot out the center or whatever of this target, right? This target. And with BBs. It's repetitive fast action, like and they try to shoot it out. Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's like somebody took something like that and shot all the way up, one after another, all the way through to the volcano, and then that's when it erupted. And also, not only did it do that, but in between time, previous to that and during I don't know, previous to it or after that, I forget. But if you see the last one, it's like it's all shot up on that west side. Also, just there, no other place, right in the concerned area, the break-off area that everyone's been concerned about. So what that seems to mean is that that's been rumbling, that's been loosening and shaking for months here now, before the volcano even erupted, and before they said the swarm began just right before it. But actually, like I said, all those quakes were, hundreds of them before that, were sort of running up in a perfect line, and then filling in on the left bank area, all that quarter, that piece that is so worrisome that might break off. I kind of didn't explain that well, because I think what I meant to say is that before that consecutive path happened from August 1st, I think that's where the other area was experiencing all those hundreds maybe, or I don't know how many of quakes, all just in that area, nowhere else, anywhere. That's pretty strange. Not on the island, anywhere else. I mean, there may have been, but a few here or there. But that whole area was just tattered, riddled, and shot, like with that BB kind of thing all over there. And since then, it looks like it's traveled to up on a curve, all to the northeast, more on a curve up that way to the bottom of the large volcano. That other one, I don't know what it's called, but the one that some are saying now could go off really at any time here if there's a big quake, or just the fact that the energy and the movement and the quakes seem to be pointing to what's going on through up there now, reaching up that far. So, and like I said, up that way is where yesterday or the day before it was reported that the land raised, the northern part of the island raised 4 inches or 10 centimeters, approximately it is, and then sank 4 centimeters south of that for the other part of the island, or at least partly. So hopefully you'll see why I feel it's so important that I show that and the meaning of it. Because like I said, it seems like from that split that everyone's worried about, right on it, it's like as if split, almost like a fault developed beforehand, deep from those other quakes in a sense, and that whole area was sort of seemingly loosened by these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tremors just in that break-off area. And to me, that really tells you something. If that doesn't, I don't know what does. And I don't know, but prior to that, I don't know what the quakes were prior to August 1st and where they occurred. But so just let me finish here real quickly, because I don't know if I'm going to do videos on this. Maybe if I do, it'll be a minute or two, but I'll mention it here, that there's another channel that just started up. It's going to be reporting live. Well, it'll be recorded, but on the ground there at La Palma, a second like bushcraft bear person who was following earthquakes in Iceland, and I guess there's been one going off there. And just tonight, he arrived in Tenerife. I believe that's the largest island in the Canary Islands. I believe that's what it is. And he flew in from Iceland to start coverage, I guess, tomorrow. He already did a video of his arrival, walking around the streets for a while and just showing the nightlife, the wild party nightlife going on after midnight there. So maybe he will start reporting just like Bushcraft Bear has been doing from La Palma with this earthquake. So I'll leave the link. I'm not going to say much more about what I think, but just be aware, again, be careful, because you see the face of Jesus on that channel. I don't want to start being negative, right off the bat, but my antennas perk up and I look back at his videos. He's been doing videos for many years, but suddenly, for no reason, whether it's coincidence or not, suddenly 6 months ago, all he started doing was covering volcanoes and volcanoes basically. And before that, it was like 90 whatever percent like religious, Catholic, Ukrainian, and also there were titles that seemed to indicate Gnostic gospels and Gnostic books and Gnostic religious, belief and thought and faith. So I don't know, but I'm just saying. And also, he announced it. I guess he and his wife were traveling in the car yesterday to the airport, and they were talking about this, that where he was heading and so on. And in the comments already, there's all kinds of comments mentioning Bushcraft Bear, and wouldn't it be great to get together with him to do reporting, and that would be like spectacular. So maybe that could be a development of this too. And I don't put much stock in any of this as far as what we're talking about could happen, and others downplaying it and the purpose and whatever for doing these kind of reports. Though everyone has their opinion about it, some get mad if I say this, and others that this could maybe not all be on the level. Plain English, I'll say this flat out. I mean, we don't know who could be engaging others to do reporting, for what reason, or even being paid for it, for purposes to keep things calm and not whatever purpose that's being maybe be done for, whatever. Just trying to make everything seem like it's life as usual, even though there's this gigantic volcano, but that's not even the story. Plus the earthquakes, plus what could happen, and the scope of it, and the scope of things that are happening on this island in so many ways that are being affected and causing problems, and seem like they're just going to get worse, that are not just in one spot or just affecting a certain amount of people, but it is and going to be seemingly affecting the whole island. And if there's major earthquakes going on, the other islands and the other countries surrounding there. So not saying that that's actually going to happen, but to that magnitude, but it very much seems like it could, and it could be on the way very, very soon. But in the meantime, the progression of events are just worsening as they are, whether it's one titanic, gigantic situation suddenly that comes about in a giant earthquake, or what's happening now progressively. And again, even a jolt in the fives is going to do some major damage. We don't know what that alone could do. So if you sort of look ahead and think you know, what might happen, there could be a pretty sizable quake immediately here now, and then maybe even more up till a week from now, and then possibly, like I said, the crunch point might come a week from now if there's something really major that pops off up there, and then, you know, we don't know what could happen from that. But we get a good sense, and I think others are getting a good sense of what this might be leading up to at any time now here. But it's sure going to be interesting and suspenseful and anticipatory from this, you know, time right here now as we go into this week, and especially at the end of this week into next week. We'll see if any of this stuff really happens or not, and we'll see about the rapture and the timing of all of this, if this is significant, and I believe it is, in what's happening there up in the Canary Islands. His last video, Bushcraft Bear, the title was A Calm Before the Storm. Not the calm, but a calm. So whatever he was referring to, I guess that the volcano had seemed sort of quieter early tonight, but I guess it's picking up steam again. But I think that's what he meant. He was up there in the dark. And storm, I guess, refer to the fact that it might, you know, start erupting more fiercely overnight. So I don't think he meant what we think of that saying, or what we might interpret him as meaning, because, again, put a title like that up and it catches everyone's eye, and it seems like someone is saying that there's going to be something big happening before something major, like Trump said, it's the calm before the storm, that he said very mysteriously, and everyone's saying, "Oh, what did he mean? You know, what did he mean?" So there's a lot of play on words, playing on others' emotions. That's what I see, and I think it's going to continue. And like I said, this other person is supposedly ready to start reporting there, and they might buddy up and get together. I'm not saying they are, or maybe it's planned. Who knows already? But that seems probably likely, and so that could be a development here, that another one will come on the scene from out of nowhere and start doing just like Bushcraft Bear has been doing, and maybe together or whatever. So the only mouthpieces coming out of La Palma right now, and probably later here, seems more like a tourist, whatever you want to call it, guide or tourist, public relations thing going on here. So, okay, so if anything develops overnight or tomorrow or the next day, if not, and then look ahead toward next week, a week from now, to see if this other thing could really go off and really set things off up there. So personally, I still expect something major to happen any moment here. I really do. Continuing strong sense about that. So maybe if something pops off here any second now of a larger magnitude, it would be sort of like a final warning, maybe the final grace, the final chance in all of this, if that's what's happening here. I don't know. No one really does know what it seems to be. And then maybe the final blow, the final point might come a week from now. I don't know. Who knows? When something much more devastating could possibly happen. And so we don't know. We don't know if this has to do with the rapture and its nearness in relation to this or not. I feel it does, again, because I've seen so many signs personally, and what I've seen captured on the screen and from footage and all kinds of things like that, and just my sense of what I've been sensing really for quite a while here, and then these developments, especially with the angels flying around near the volcano, all kinds of footage everywhere really. We don't know what kind of unnatural influence could be at play here either, so a lot of things going on here, a lot of prophetic importance to all this, I believe. Some have called things like this a birthing ritual. A birthing ritual, again, with the 10 centimeters thing, the dilation, the breaking of the water. This would sort of fit the whole shebang in one shot here. How that applies to scripture about something like that happening before the rapture, I really don't know, but I believe we're going to be gone from here if something like that happened anyway. And so it could mean that if this is ready to take place, that therefore the rapture is very close here any time now. And not to mention what's been going on with the you-know-what, that others are being basically forced to take right now. And the point that this seems to be about bringing in the Antichrist as the rapture comes near. So all these things seem to be happening, and Israel awaiting their Messiah and thinking that he's coming any second now. All the reports going on here of what's said to be UFOs and all kinds of sightings going on in the sky, you know, that sort of points to the rapture too. Fake alien situation once the church is taken. All right, that's it for now. Those who lasted this long to listen to all of this, you heard what I said, my thoughts, and also what other videos I might do, I might not. And once more, I have to repeat, this could very well be, anyone could be my last video from this video on. I keep saying this not only because of the rapture, but because, you never know what could happen to your channel. So I'm aware of that. So I have to keep saying that. I never know if this is the last time I'll be on here talking. So just be aware of that also. Also, can't forget all the other places these volcanoes and earthquakes are happening right now. Hawaii, that seems to be popping off. And there's some who are also saying that it could be likely that in the midst of all this right now, with quakes and volcanoes going off, that maybe Yellowstone might suddenly come to life here in the midst of all this also. Again, I repeat that others are also saying that the large volcano to the north of Cumbre Viejo that's erupting right now, that everyone's concerned about, might also suddenly erupt. But I think the main concern is that part on the southwest flank there that everyone has their eyes on. It's been, they've said that's possible in the past. That could very well happen, although so many are trying to deny that now and denouncing it and make it seem like hype and what's the word? Fear mongering. Have to come up with a different term here. All right, it's now into Tuesday. It's 12:35 a.m. Tuesday, October 12th, 2021. So we're into Tuesday now from Monday night. We'll see what happens. Earlier tonight, it seemed like you could at least catch your breath for one moment, sort of a quick break here. So we'll see what happens overnight into tomorrow if that starts going south again. As I said, the eruption itself is not the most significant thing here. The earthquakes, I think, that are anticipated. And that could send a jolt that could rock an area of land and cut it from the shoreline. Though the earthquakes and the eruptions seem to work in tandem together, as indications, as both happen at the same time, basically, with the magma movement and the displacement and the earth moving and loosening in the midst of all of this. So we don't know at what point this is, but again, what does that tell you? if that's true, that the upper part rose and the lower part below that sunk, something is going on to the north. And as I had said, I believe to the south, to the breakoff point, if you look at those two videos where you see where all the quakes were and how it seemed to be carving that whole area out, whether naturally or some other way, it happened that way. So I don't know when I'll be back on here. If I do, I don't know when or what I'm going to be talking about. I also said I might read comments. I have so many comments that are really important to all this, but it might be a moot point. It might not even be significant as we come into the next days here. Things might really unfold here, and that would, culminate things. Hopefully that will culminate us leaving here. I firmly believe that's about to happen. Every ounce of my being. I'm not afraid of anything. There's just a bubbly feeling inside of me that we're about to be taken out of here. I really do. All right, so this is me again, signing off, maybe for the last time. Who knows? I don't know. But if it is, then again, I'll see you soon. All right. God bless you. Bye.